Welcome friends to this video where I am going to attempt to draw Jesus from my imagination. I really have been struggling with drawing original artwork. Over the last year I have done a lot of reference work, but in order to really become an inspired artist, I must learn how to draw and sketch original artwork. So that's what I'm going to attempt in this video. And I'm going to do that in 3 steps. The first step, I'm going to draw an original image, and then I'm going to try to get better by drawing 3 references to help improve on problems that I faced in that one. And then I will move on to version 2, and then I'll see what problems I had during version 2, and I'll do 3 more references, and then finally the last version. So stick around if you'd like to see a comparison and any progress that I made, and you can give me your thoughts. One limitation, I am going to limit this to 1 hour for each drawing. That way I stay consistent and they're all similar in terms of the amount of effort and time that I spent on each of them. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'll start by showing you and walking through each one of these, and I'll show you some clips along the way. So here is my first image that I drew with an old brush. So if I go over here to painting, there's an old brush, and really I use this one is just to sketch the outline. I didn't really want to spend a lot of time into the detail because I hadn't quite vividly gotten everything that I wanted to put into the sketch. So this is really an outline. I had some trouble. For example, I couldn't figure out if the ears should be showing behind the hair or in front of the ear. So I just got the facial features in this preliminary sketch. Moving on to my first reference. This one I was pretty happy with overall. I used the same old brush, and overall it turned out pretty good, other than I didn't get a lot of fine detail in each of the features. So this was just kind of an introductory to get a reference, and then I would move into more specifics in the next reference. So here is my next reference. I used the Procreate pencil this time. There's much darker lines. It's also much harsher. And what I did here was I spent a lot of time trying to get the hair right, and I didn't have enough time to spend on the facial features such as the lips and the nose. Didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So I have some work to do, but I did take a leap forward into creating more of a fine art. Moving on to my third reference, this one is a 3/4 portrait. And this one is a little bit distorted in terms of the shape because of the turn portrait. I have done this one before and I really enjoy it, but it is a little bit more difficult for me to recreate. However, I did get some of the features created that I really like, and I learned about the lips and the chin and the nose and the eyes and the shading and the hair. It all turned out pretty well, so I did learn a lot in this reference. Here is my second version with no reference. I spent a lot of time with the hair, trying to get the bottom of it, the curls and the groups together, and it didn't quite turn out like I wanted it to, and I ended up spending more time on that. As you can see, the eyes are not correct. They look really tired, and the lips I didn't get enough time on. So I seem to have been facing challenges in that area. Overall, I think it's a little better than the first, and we can compare that at the end. Here is my fourth reference. In this one, I didn't really have the challenges that I had before with the hair because it's covered up. So I am pretty happy with the lips and the chin and the nose. The eyes are a little bit off in terms of size, so I needed to work more with that. But this one was also good lessons that I learned. Here is reference number 5. This is by an artist, Akiana Kramerek. She painted this when she was 8 years old, and it's really an iconic image of Jesus. In this image, I ended up getting stuck on the shading and the background, trying to get the detail of the hair mixed in with the background. So I really didn't meet my objective to focus on the face here because I did so much time on the background. So I didn't really do as good of a job and learn as much on the eyes and the lips. Here is my last reference, number 6, by Leonardo da Vinci. It's the Salvator Mundi. And this is one of the most popular artworks sold to date. And it's very iconic and one of his most important paintings. I learned a lot by replicating this sketch. And what I learned mostly was his ability to shade. For example, he used a technique he invented called the sfumato. I really had a hard time with around the chin areas and shading between the chin and the hair. But other than that, I think the eyes and the nose and the curls turned out pretty nice, and even the hands and the garment. But I learned the most on this one just because of the softness and how to transition the features. Now on to my last image, and I tried to take all the lessons I had learned from all the previous drawings. And I did face some of the same challenges in terms of getting the hair transition from the straight to the curls. I did pretty well, okay on the eyes, but I did run out of time on the lips and the nose, and I didn't spend much time on the garment. So I did face some of the challenging features, but hopefully it improved over the course of these drawings. Now let's take a look at the final result. So we have version 1, 2, and 3. Which one do you think is best and why? Do you see any progress from one version to the next? Or maybe this was too short of an experiment to actually tell if I made any progress? Or maybe there are features in one that are much better than the other? Love to know your thoughts. And hopefully this inspires you to try vlogging your own painting experiences. And I am excited to try more like these. So I hope to see you in the next video. So long.